From a maths teacher who taught a stadium full of students a decade ago to the founder of what is today the world's most valued education technology company, Byju Raveendran has come a long way. But is his dream run sputtering to a halt? Why is India's most valued startup Byjus besieged by controversy from all sides, be it layoffs, problems in revenue recognition, aggressive sales, or mounting losses? Is it paying a price for blitzscaling its way to the top, or is there something more? Let's rewind to bring you a definitive account of Byjus, the story so far. 42-year-old Byju Raveendran was born in 1980 in Arikode village, Kerala, to Raveendran and Shobanavalli, physics and mathematics teachers. While he studied in Malayalam medium, he said he learnt English by listening to football and cricket commentary. While he played at least half a dozen sports in school, till a few years ago, he used to still play football post midnight with colleagues in Bengaluru. His story has almost become a legend. Raveendran is an engineer from Kerala who turned teacher. He discovered his aptitude for teaching when he happened to help his friends prepare for the CAT exam. In fact, he wrote the CAT exam twice and cracked it both times. But instead of enrolling in a premium management institute like the IIM, he started Byju's CAT classes in 2007, launching his private coaching class. His teaching methods and concepts were a hit with students, and he went around the country running Byjus as an offline test preparation center. Now, Byjus, or Think and Learn Private Limited, was officially incorporated in 2011. At some point, he was so popular that he conducted classes for 15,000 students in a stadium. From 2015, Byjus transitioned from a classroom learning to an app and tablets. Sale of EdTech products like its tablets and SD cards, in fact, apart from course fee and streaming services, make up for the most of Byjus's revenue. As much as products, services, and founders are important, in the competitive, fast-growing startup space, fundraising moves the needle like nothing else. And Byjus's constant fundraising threw its every rival out of the water. In fact, according to data from Traction, Byjus raised its first ever funding round from RN Capital worth $9 million in 2013. While RN again invested $2.3 million in 2014, Byjus got its first large round of $25 million from Sequoia Capital in 2015, with G.V. Ravishankar joining the company's board. Byjus then raised a $75 million round Series C funding in 2016 from Sofina and Sequoia, and then went on to raise a few more rounds. It got its first $100 million round from General Atlantic in 2018 at a $1 billion valuation, becoming a unicorn. Over the next 4 years, Byju saw its valuation surge to a whopping $22 billion, making it India's most valued startup and the world's most valued EdTech. Now, along with funding, there's another big reason for Byjus's explosive growth, and that is its mammoth sales engine. These executives call parents, visit them, cajole them, offer scholarships and discounts that expire if they don't buy it immediately. They create a sense of FOMO. This sales machinery is the cornerstone of the company's scale. It's also spent a lot on advertising and marketing, from sponsoring key cricket tournaments and teams to hiring Shah Rukh Khan as its brand ambassador in 2017. The company also hired many engineers for sales jobs by offering them higher than industry packages. Eventually, cracks started appearing in its sales machinery as questions swirled around its aggressive sales target and the fact that these courses were sold to parents who could hardly afford them. prompting questions on its sales practices. Now, this was also the time when Byju's was expanding at a feverish pace. It made close to 20 acquisitions in the last few years, not just in India, but also in the United States, as it sought to consolidate its market share across K-12, higher education, and coding. From White Hat Junior to Topper to Akash to Epic to Cosmo to Great Learning, Byju's cast its net wide. In fact, Byju's acquisition spree in 2021 prompted many to joke that one fine day Byju's will end up buying the CBSE board, the ICSE board, apart from many state boards. Now, if the story so far was about scale, capital, and expansion, 2022 will perhaps go down as annus horribilis in Byju's 11-year history, the year of the horrible. Because Murphy's first law haunted Byju's all year, because anything that can go wrong did go wrong. Where shall we start? Well, its ballyhooed US listing plans never took off because the markets tanked this year. It started laying off people in White Hat Junior and Topper in a bid to optimize teams. Byju's also filed its FY21 results after an 18-month delay in September 2022. Byju's ended up posting a massive consolidated loss of over rupees 4,500 crore, and it had to readjust its numbers due to a change in its revenue recognition system. Its auditor Deloitte also flagged weak internal controls. Now, along with underwhelming financials came the problem with funding. While Byju's had announced an $800 million funding round, with Raveendran himself committing half of it, investors such as Sumeru and Oxshot never wired the money. It later announced a $250 million fundraise at an existing valuation of $22 billion. Byju also delayed payments to Akash, an offline company it acquired in April 2021 for $950 million. Byju's, however, said that it paid Akash immediately but did not pay Blackstone, which held 38% stake in Akash. The company has now paid the money. Byju's then announced 2,500 people getting laid off and said it aims to achieve company-level profitability by March 2023. But guess what? Just days after firing 2,500 employees, Byju's said it was signing up football legend Lionel Messi as its brand ambassador for its non-profit venture. While Byju clarified that this deal was signed at least 6 months ago and it's not a straight monetary deal, it still reeked of poor optics. Now, while Byju Raveendran is dousing one fire after another this year, he and his wife and co-founder Divya Gokulnath remain confident about the future of their venture. They foresee a scorching pace of growth and a path to profitability. Now, let's hope they are right, because Byju's fall will be a calamity not just for the company and its stakeholders. It could precipitate a crisis of confidence in India's booming startup ecosystem. For that reason alone, founders and investors are hopeful that Byju's can tide over its problems and survive.